Hello and thank you for joining us for our news bulletin. My name is Nsanje. First, the headlines. Leo XIV meets Lebanon's president amid Israel-Hezbollah tensions. High Court to rule on Namiwa's bail on Friday as his lawyer expresses optimism bail will be granted. President Mutharika awards 5 million Malawi kwacha each to Scottish players for historic World Cup qualification. And in other news, Zambian opposition leader Brian Mundubile to challenge presidential poll results in court. We have the details to these stories and more. Just stay with us. Pope Leo XIV received Lebanese President Joseph Aoun in an audience on Wednesday morning at the Apostolic Palace. The meeting comes at a critical moment for Lebanon as its agreement with Israel for Israeli forces to leave southern Lebanon remains unresolved, as Israel insists it will not withdraw from the area until the terrorist group Hezbollah is disarmed. We have more details on this Rome report read by Patrick Pupa.
Leo XIV has reaffirmed his commitment to Lebanese Christians and the country's tradition of religious coexistence, including through his first apostolic visit to the country. President Joseph Aoun, who attended Pope Leo's inaugural Mass and met him in June 2025, has now met the pontific again. Their shared commitment to religious pluralism and interreligious dialogue reflects Lebanese unique political system, which reserved the presidency for a Maronite Christian, the premiership for a Sunni Muslim, and the speakership of parliament for a Shiite Muslim. The country's model of coexistence was famously described by Pope John Paul II as a message of freedom and an example of pluralism for the East and the West. President Aoun now faces the difficult task of securing the withdrawal of Israel forces from Lebanese territory while addressing the issue of Hezbollah's armed presence. Violence continued to escalate in southern Lebanon, with Israel airstrikes killing 11 people, including 3 children and 2 women, in the villages of Ansar and Deir el-Zahiran last Saturday. Hezbollah has vowed to retaliate, adding to concerns over the security situation in the region. The conflict has also raised concerns about the future of Lebanese Christian community, with the presence of Hezbollah in the south reportedly contributing to the displacement of Christians from the area. Lebanese foreign minister has previously appealed to the Holy See to help protect the country's Christian community.
The High Court in Lilongwe is expected to deliver its ruling tomorrow, August 21st, 2026, on the bail application by Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative State Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa. Speaking in an interview with Luntha television, Namiwa's lawyer Gift Mwenye said the defense had applied for bail and that the hearing is scheduled for 10 o'clock in the morning. Fales Chizombe has filed this report.
In his remarks, Mwenye expressed hope that the court would grant Namiwa bail, noting that the state did not oppose the bail application.
We made an application in the Honorable Court, and our application, and it's on record that the state did not object our application, so obviously we'll expect Mr. Namiwa to be released on bail, but a decision in matters like that.
Meanwhile, the Nzuzu Youth Caucus held a press briefing earlier today, informing the public that it had written the Judicial Service Commission seeking its intervention over the delay by the High Court in delivering its ruling on Namiwa's bail application. Nzuzu Youth Caucus chairperson Gomeziani Nkoma said the prolonged detention raises concerns about the right to personal liberty and access to justice. He warned that the group could organize peaceful demonstrations if the delay continues.
The current delay directly violates Section 42, subsection 2, number F and I of the Constitution of the Republic of Malawi, which...
Namiwa was arrested on July 30th, 2026, and is facing charges of treason and publishing false news likely to cause fear and alarm among the public.
Government has said the country cannot rely on the national budget alone to finance digital transformation, calling for increased private sector and development partner investment in digital infrastructure. Speaking in Lilongwe on Thursday during the Digital Africa Summit, an event also featuring the launch of GSM's latest report, Driving Digital Transformation of the Economy in Malawi, Minister of Finance and Economic Planning Joseph Mwanamveka said government will use public resources strategically to unlock private and development capital for investments in telecommunications infrastructure, fiber networks, data centers, and digital platforms. Charity Chilanga has filed this report.
Mwanamveka said government is treating digital infrastructure as a key driver of economic growth and will leverage public-private partnerships and other financing mechanisms to attract investment into the sector. He, however, said affordability remains a major barrier to digital adoption, noting that despite 92% 3G and 87% 4G coverage, only 12.5% of Malawians are unique mobile internet users.
That I'm quite happy with this summit that has been held by GSMA today. It is very important that, as you are aware, that one of the agenda or the pillar that is in our development agenda or 2063 is about digitalization.
In his remarks, the Minister of Information and Communication Technology Shadrack Namalomba said the country is making significant progress in digital infrastructure, outperforming the African average in some areas, while calling for greater investment in smartphones and digital literacy, improved internet penetration, and reduced digital taxes to make services more accessible and unlock development opportunities.
First issue is to understand why we have the challenge of code drops, and also why there is a low penetration of internet. Code drops.
Concurring with Namalomba, Senior Director of Public Policy at GSMA Africa, Caroline Mbuga, said the country has made strong progress in connectivity and financial inclusion, but with 80% of the population still offline, despite network coverage, the country must now focus on affordability, digital skills, and investment barriers to turn access into meaningful use.
So the GSMA has been conducting digital reports or digitalization reports for various countries, and this is to address the strategy around digitalization of African economies, following the strategies that have been developed at a national level. We do have
The Thriving Digital Transformation of the Economy in Malawi report highlights a major opportunity to close Malawi's digital usage gap by tackling affordability, digital skills, and investment barriers. It estimates that the right reforms could unlock 1.1 trillion Malawi kwacha in economic value and create 490,000 jobs by 2030.
The Lilongwe City Council has said it expects to complete several road projects within the remaining 6 months of the financial year, following renewed funding for road maintenance and development. According to Director of Engineering Services Julius Tsogolani, the Council is currently processing contractor agreements for projects worth billions of kwacha, covering road rehabilitation, bridge construction, drainage works, and interlocking bricks. We have more details in this report filed by Jacqueline Saidi.
Tsogolani said the council is targeting several key roads, including the stretch from the roundabout near Capital Hotel to the State House entrance, where works will include road shoulders, loading areas, drainage, and interlocking rigs. He said the council will also resurface about 1.2 kilometers of road in Area 43 and construct a bridge and road in Area 47 along the Ringadze River, connecting the area to the Presidential Highway in Area 49. Tsogolani said the council is working to ensure all the projects are completed within the remaining 6 months of the financial year, and all the constructions are estimated to take over the 15.5 billion kwacha that has been given by the Roads Fund Administration.
First, we have a barrier bridge to construct over Ringadze all the way to State House entrance. We are repairing the shoulders, installing interlocking bricks and drainage construction. And here in the Area 43, we are rehabilitating a road about 1.2 kilometers. We want to process it again and surface it in asphalt 50 millimeters. We want to do this, this financial year, because we have funding this financial year, 15 billion, and we have entered into an MOU and then we also enter into a contract. We're processing that with the Malawi Defence Force Engineering Battalion.
Meanwhile, Roads Fund Administration Communications Manager Masauko Ngwaluko says the renewed financing will support road maintenance and development by local councils, with the fuel levy remaining a key source of funding once projects are approved.
We are very thankful to government because now they are releasing the fuel levy through MERA to us, and this is what has enabled us to allocate 54 billion to 7 councils, city councils. The city councils, there are 4, and now we have also adopted the municipal councils.
The Roads Fund Administration says the renewed financing provides an opportunity for local councils to address road infrastructure challenges in their respective areas. For Luntha Television, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
The Malawi Electoral Commission (MEC) has stressed the need to prioritize civic and voter education ahead of the 2030 general elections to ensure that voters are well informed and able to distinguish accurate electoral information from misinformation. MEC Chairperson Justice Annabel Mtalimanja made these remarks in Lilongwe during the Commission's post-election review national conference, which brought together various stakeholders to assess the conduct of the 2025 general elections and identify areas requiring improvement. Emmanuel Shiwocha was there and reports.
Manja says the post-election view has highlighted both positive and negative factors that the Commission must carefully consider as it prepares for future elections. She has commended stakeholders for sharing their experience, concerns, observation and recommendation during the various review meetings, saying their contributions will help make to strengthen the electoral process ahead of the 2030 elections.
The conference has drawn participation from all stakeholders that participated in the electoral processes. The idea today is to present the report that has been developed after consulting the different stakeholders.
Meanwhile, United Nations Residence Coordinator to Malawi, Rebecca Ada Donto, has commended the Malawi Electoral Commission for conducting the post-election view, describing it as an important step towards improving future elections, while noting that the United Nations was encouraged by the free and fair conduct of the 2025 general elections and expressing hope that the lessons from the review will help make future elections even better.
As the United Nations in Malawi, this is very important for us because technically we support the election management body, which is MEC, but we also accompany election-related conflict prevention and peace building. So this is very important because it helps all the key stakeholders to really distill some lessons, some good practices, some challenges.
MEC says the road to 2030 will require stronger voter education, lessons drawn from the past electoral experience, and closer collaboration with stakeholders to build a more informed electorate and strengthen the credibility and the public trust of the electoral process. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Emmanuel Juocha.
You're still watching news coming to you live from Bishop Navy Media Center. Before we proceed, another look at the headlines. Leo XIV meets Lebanon's president amid Israel-Hezbollah tensions. High Court to rule on Namiwa's bail on Friday as his lawyer expresses optimism bail will be granted. President Mutharika awards 5 million Malawi kwacha each to Scottish players for historic World Cup qualification. And in other news, Zambian opposition leader Brian Mundubile to challenge presidential poll results in court. Proceeding with the news, health expert George Jobe has said the measles outbreak in Nsanje district is being driven by children missing routine vaccines, misinformation, and cross-border movement with Mozambique. His remarks come as Nsanje district has recorded 104 confirmed measles cases out of 249 suspected cases since September last year, with 2 deaths recorded as children aged 1 to 4 have been the most affected. We have more details on this report filed by Clara Kamzati.
In an interview with Luntha television, Jobe said it is sad that children are getting sick and dying from measles when the vaccine is free and available at all clinics in the country. He said several factors are causing children to miss vaccine, including negative information about vaccine that spread during the COVID-19 period, where some parents were told vaccine would kill children or affect fertility. He also cited religious beliefs in some families that do not allow medication, including vaccine.
To learn about the identification of measles patients or cases in Nsanje and some other districts. It is sad because the measles has the vaccine, and the vaccine is readily available in Malawi at the clinics, and it is free of charge, which means that If all children
Jobe has urged the Ministry of Health to deepen engagement with neighboring countries to fight measles jointly, including checking vaccination status at entry points and vaccinating children in border areas. For Luntha Television News in Lilongwe, this is Clara Kamzat.
In sports, President Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has awarded each member of the Malawi Scorchers 5 million Malawi kwacha in recognition of the team's historic qualification for next year's FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil. The announcement was made by First Lady Madame Gertrude Mutharika during a luncheon she hosted for the Scorchers at Kamuzu Palace, where she pledged continued support for the team as it prepares for the global tournament. We have more details on this report filed by Judith Ogan.
Speaking at Luchin, Madam Gertrude Mutharika said the Scorchers have united Malawians and brought pride and joy to the nation through their impressive performance at the Women's African Cup of Nations. She said she and President Mutharika followed the team's matches and were proud to see the Scorchers overcome established footballing nations and rise Malawi's profile on the national stage.
As a proud mother, very proud, who has been blessed with the beautiful daughters, amene asintha maganizidwe awantu, even world record. Amangoti Nigeria, Amalawi lili kuti mwaisintha world record. What more could I have expected as a mother? Kuposa ndi zimene mwachita?
Football Association of Malawi President Fleetwood Haya said the Scorchers' successes reflect deliberate investments in women's football and grassroots development, with farm building a pathway from under-17 to the senior team, while thanking President Mutharika and the government for their support.
Malawi may be seen as a small country, but our dreams are not small. Our talent is not small. Our capacity to compete with the world is certainly not small. Our next generation frontier is to take structured football development close to the child. In partnership with government, with the Minister of Sports, and also we are working with the Minister of Education, we envisage to establish School of Excellences within the selected government schools across the country to complement the already...
The Scorchers will represent Malawi at next year's FIFA Women's World Cup in Brazil after securing qualification through their impressive campaign at WAFCON. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Judith Ogan.
Now, in other news, Zambia's opposition leader Brian Mundubile said on Wednesday that he is going to court to challenge the August 13th presidential election results, which handed President Hakainde Hichilema a second term in office. In a statement, Mundubile said his campaign documented serious irregularities and inconsistencies surrounding the conduct, counting, transmission, and declaration of results. African News Report, read by Patrick Pupa.
Well, last week's vote was largely peaceful. The opposition said its campaign was marred by intimidation and restrictions concerns that were echoed by international election observers. Zambia's Election Commission declared Hichilema the winner with about 60% of votes compared with 38% for Mundubile. The dispute over the results is unfolding against a rapidly worsening security situation. Police arrested several leading opposition figures on the night of the elections, accusing them of posing a threat to state security. They have confirmed that former cabinet minister and opposition MP Mutotwe Kafaya was shot dead in a security force raid at Munduwile's home a day after the vote. The Electoral Commission also suspended vote counting for hours due to reports of violence against polling staff and the theft of ballot papers. Munduwile issued his statement from an undisclosed location, saying he is under protection due to unnamed threats. UN Human Rights Chief Volker Turk has urged Zambia to stop arbitrary arrest and ensure due process for those detained.
And that report also brings us to the end of what we had for you in this edition of our news bulletin. Before we go, a reminder of the headlines. Pope Leo XIV meets Lebanon's president amid Israel-Hezbollah tensions. High Court to rule on Namiwa's bail on Friday as his lawyer expresses optimism bail will be granted. President Mutharika awards 5 million Malawi kwacha each to Scottish players for historic World Cup qualification. And in other news, Zambian opposition leader Brian Mundubile to challenge presidential poll results in court. My name is Tandiwe Mzumara. Thank you for keeping me company and continue following the rest of our programs right here on Luntha TV. Do stay tuned for the weather report by our colleague Noel Banda.
Hello and good evening. It was very cold earlier this morning. Temperatures dropped to around 6 degrees as a minimum temperature for Nyika. Much lower temperatures were also recorded over Mwazisi, which had 7 degrees, around 8 over Katete, while at the same time Kamizashon Airport, Zuzu and Dedza recorded 9 degrees. We should expect this cold to very cold and windy weather conditions to persist tonight and during morning hours. It will be generally warmer and partly cloudy late into the afternoon tomorrow. This is all because we are still getting little moisture blowing from the Indian Ocean into Malawi. Expect to sustain partly cloudy conditions with generally cold to very cold weather conditions at night and during morning hours. So for tonight, expect some clouds to be seen here and there over southern areas, the central and northern parts of Malawi. Temperature might drop during morning hours to around 14 degrees as a minimum temperature for Blantyre, Zomba and over Nsanje, so too Kasungu, around 15 over Likoma, and in Kata Bay expect mild weather conditions over Mangochi with 19 degrees, so too Ngabu and Nsanje, but very cold over Longwe and Dedza with 9 degrees. Clouds will be seen during morning hours over some parts of southern areas, the central and northern parts of Malawi, with a chance of 1 or 2 rain showers, particularly over northern and lakeshore areas. We should expect hot weather conditions late into the afternoon hours over Ngabu and Nsanje with 31 degrees, around 30 over Karonga, 29 over Mangochi. Expect warm weather conditions over most parts in the central and southern areas with 25 degrees over Blantyre, Zomba, Nsanje, Longwe and over Dedza. Late into the afternoon tomorrow, we should expect partly cloudy conditions over southern areas, the central, lakeshore and northern parts of Malawi. Looking further into Saturday, we should expect generally warm weather conditions during afternoon hours, but generally cold at night and during morning hours, with some windy rain showers expected over northern areas, lakeshore and some parts of southern Malawi. Well, that's it for tonight. Keep warm and have a good night.